Hi, everyone. I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. So I feel like I say this every time that this might not make much sense. It might sound rambly. I don't know. But like, you guys, if you're listening, you're autistic. So like, I hope you understand. You're probably the same way sometimes. I did not have a very good night. It's about 7:00 in the morning. I got home about 2 hours ago from the ER, and I had a meltdown in front of other people, and it was so fucking embarrassing. And I'm tired, but like, I know I'm not going to be able to fall asleep just yet. So like, I took melatonin. I'm hoping it kicks in by the time I'm done with this. But anyways, so like what happened was, for those of you like who have been listening, this will make more sense. So like, you might remember me saying that like I had lost like all this weight in like the last year, and I was pretty sure it was because of the pot that like I started using. I don't smoke it. I like the edibles better and the tinctures. But like, I had started using marijuana, and around the same time I started sorry, I'm having communication issues. What was I saying? Sorry, guys. Oh yes, marijuana. God. So I was losing weight. Now I wouldn't say rapidly, but like, my appetite went away, and I just attributed that to the marijuana because like that's when it happened, and that's since I started using it. Did I ever explain like how I got into marijuana? Do we even care? You know, like, maybe this is a tangent. I'm just good because it's an autistic thing to do, in my opinion. So like, I've been a chemical dependency counselor for several years before I started working at home. So I know a fair amount of, stuff about drugs and whatever, but I apparently don't know how to read very well because like, I was watching Bellator, which is this like MMA promotion for those of you who don't know. And you know how like on those, like the corner posts in the ring, they have like their advertisements for different like companies and stuff. And so I saw this one for Koi CBD. And CBD at that point I already knew like didn't really do anything for me because I had tried it before, like from other places. But like the artwork was so cool. Like, I had to go to the site. That's how they get you, like it was a really cool artwork. So I went out to the website, and I thought, well, why not? Like, they give veterans discounts. Let me just sign up and I'll order a bottle of CBD and see if that helps with like any of my issues. So it comes in the mail like a few days after I order it. And it turned out that it was like marijuana. Now, this is it's a legit website. They're not scammers. They give very good military discounts. 25% off. Go check it out if like you're into CBD, or, perhaps even if you like marijuana. I use Delta 8, which it's hard for me to explain. I mean, pot smoker, like you pot people will know. Delta 8 is like it's mellower than Delta 9, which is like, standard pot, but you don't get all the paranoia that comes with like regular pot and all that. So that's actually what I ended up ordering. And in all the years that I did like, addictions counseling for drugs, like I don't like remember using the word Delta anywhere at all to describe any kind of like, no, like Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, like these are all like, I'd never heard this term before. Anyways, so, okay. And now I'm at home. I remember this day because like I had just finished up a book I was working on. and I had some time, and so I was like watching TV, and then like I get the package and it was delivered, and so I was like, oh, cool. So like I popped like, I don't know, 4 or 5, because I misread the milligrams. Like I didn't know I was taking, it ended up being like 200 milligrams I took of Delta 8 marijuana, and I thought it was CBD. And I've never been high in my life. That's true. Like, I went so far in life without getting high. I really hope that other people did too, because it seems like everybody uses drugs these days, myself included now, I guess. But yeah, so like I'm sitting there and like, nothing really happened. And like, I didn't know the whole thing about like edibles, where like it takes a couple hours for them to go through your system before you feel them. So anyways, like next thing I know, I'm fucking instantly high. And I didn't know what was going on at first. I just was like, oh my God. Did I drink poison? Like, did somebody poison me? Like, what the fuck is going on? And, it dawned on me as I grabbed that bottle and I read it, and it didn't say CBD on there. It said Delta 8 or whatever the thing was. And so like I went on to the website, I checked my orders to make sure that like, because I was like, they're supposed to send me CBD, not this. And it turns out this is what I ordered. I did not, it was not CBD, it was marijuana. So, and my first time getting high included taking a whole bunch of it, when I didn't know that I was taking a whole bunch of it, because I don't know numbers that well. So yeah, I mean, so I was like, oh, this ain't so bad, like after a while, because it helped with like certain like aches and pains and stuff. It like mostly helps me with like focus and concentration. It like slows my mind down. So that's like primarily why I like using it. And I don't like getting high. I don't like to have that feeling. So like I figured out the dosage and stuff. But you know, like, so I just kept like ordering, you know, the different kinds and tried different kinds that they had on the website. And I started losing weight, and I was like, wow, like I couldn't find much research online about people who like use pot and like don't gain weight, like they lose their appetite. And there was some stuff, but like it wasn't like a huge group of people that from, you know, that this happens to. So I don't know. I was just like, oh, like that must be what it is. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I don't have to exercise because I hate it. So I can continue living my sedentary lifestyle, lose weight because I have no appetite. So and you remember, like, if you had heard the episode about like how my body regulation, like my temperature in my body, it's hard to regulate. That part is true. Like, that has always been true. It just wasn't true this year when I thought it was. Like those times that like I was outside in like 80-degree weather, and then I had to run back inside because I was like, you know, about ready to vomit. That was, that had nothing to do with like my body, like the, you know, it did and it didn't. It turns out I have like an ovarian cyst, and this ain't just some small little thing. This is literally the size of a fucking bowling ball, and I'm not even joking. So yeah, so let me just back up then to a couple weeks ago. Like, you know, like when you lose weight, like every part of me has been losing weight except the fucking stomach. And like, I thought it was like bloat or something like that. But my wife was like, she was pushing on my stomach. She's like, that doesn't feel normal. She's like, that shouldn't feel that hard. Because I'm doing it right now and it's just hard. And I just assumed it was like bloating because it was around the time of my period, So I told her, I was like, oh, this always happens and blah, 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 and it'll be fine. And then I haven't been able to get it out of my mind since she's pointed it out. So like every fucking day I'm like, oh my God, like my period's been gone. It's done now. Like, why do I still have like this? Like, why is it just, it looks like I have a fucking beer gut and I don't. or like I'm pregnant. It's just like, it's so, oh my God. So what happened was a couple of weeks ago when she had pointed this out, I had started feeling this like dull ache in my right side. So of course I was like, is this appendicitis? But it didn't seem like I had any of the other symptoms that are listed for appendicitis. So I just kept telling myself it was a bloat, it was a bloat, it was a bloat. And then tonight, like I'm watching, well, last night, I guess it was around midnight. I was watching TV and it was like somebody was stabbing my side repeatedly and it was so painful. And my wife was sleeping. She's got to get up for work. So like I went and got her and I said, I can barely walk. Like, I was like dry heaving. It was like, and for those of you who know like the whole pain issue, I can't stand, I have the lowest tolerance for physical pain. I mean, I know physical and emotional, your brain recognizes them both the same. So I don't know. I mean, but physically, like, I think I'm anemic because like I bruise a lot and I'm always cold. But, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I woke my wife up. Yep. Sorry. So I had her take me to the VA. And thank goodness there was nobody in that ER. And I was freaking the fuck out. I was in so much pain. I'm like having short breath because it's hard to breathe. Like I don't know what is going on. I feel guilty and bad that I woke my wife up to have her take me. And I was I was not so nice to her yesterday because I was in a mood and I was not nice to her. And so like, when stuff like that happens and then you need help from that person that you are not so nice to, and it just makes the guilt much worse. That's how I felt. But I was so grateful. So here's the experience, okay? So I'm just going to walk you through what the fuck happened from what I can remember because, some parts are a little bit fuzzy. So like we get into the ER and like I said, there's nobody there. So I go up, do the whole check-in thing and blah, blah, blah. And then the nurse takes me, checks my vitals, and then is going to take me back to a room to wait for the doctor. And I was like, well, can my wife come with me? And like, I know like the whole COVID thing, this was the first time I've been to the hospital since COVID started, to any hospital. And I had prided myself on that. Like, oh, look at me taking care of myself. So, and I was in a panic. I think I was having a panic attack. I was crying. I just was a fucking hot mess. I was embarrassed. So the nurse was like, no, she can't come back, like not beyond the waiting room point. And I lost my shit and I just started crying. And like, it was so embarrassing because it just happened and I couldn't stop it because like, she's my lifeline. Like I want my wife with me. And like there was nobody else. Like it was like skeleton crew, and because the whole like, COVID and all the like the poor like healthcare workers, like all the hard work that they do. And, like the healthcare system's just not the same. It's so fucked up. And these poor people that are just like, okay, I'm sorry. It's very easy to go off on tangents right now. So anyways, so I just was like, well, I need to get seen. So like I went back there and, as soon as I got in there, this like technician or whatever she was, assistant or whatever came in and, she started talking to me and like, I was still crying. I was bawling. This is embarrassing at my age. I couldn't stop myself. And I just was thinking, oh my God, like, I can't believe I'm having this. Like, this is a meltdown. This is happening. This is happening. There are witnesses. I can't control it. I can't keep it inside. And so I also informed her that I'm autistic. And I kind of just yelled it out like, I'm autistic. I think you should probably know this. And I don't know what I was expecting, but I got that look. Like, okay. It was such a judgmental look. And it was pretty judgmental because she had her fucking mask on, so all I can really see are the eyes. And if I know your whole face is screwed up in a fucking judgmental, like, expression. And so immediately I was like, well, great. I can't believe I just admitted that. Like, and then I was like, am I embarrassed to be autistic? Like, yeah, you guys. I was embarrassed that I was embarrassed that I told them I'm autistic. And it was because I wasn't treated very well by that initial person. Because here's another fun fact about me, which is pretty embarrassing because everything I feel like I share is embarrassing. I have self-diagnosed myself as having trichotillomania. And, my therapist agrees. When I have like a lot of anxiety, what I do is like I will pick the hair on my legs, because the only way I can explain it is like, and I don't mean to be disrespectful of people who like cut themselves. The only way I know how to describe it is like pulling a hair is the equivalent of like cutting oneself. Does that make sense at all? I feel like maybe I'm not like explaining that properly, but I've had this my entire life. And then it went dormant for many years, kind of. I mean, not dormant, I shouldn't say that, but it wasn't very active. I wasn't picking fucking hair every day. And I don't have I have my hair, I have my eyebrows, I have my eyelashes, I have hair on my head. Easy to go for the legs because most of the time, like when you're out, you're wearing pants and stuff. People aren't really looking at your legs anyways. And so like when me and my wife were having like this really difficult first half of the year, I was fucking picking away like crazy. And it got to the point where there was like little tiny infections that, bacitracin took care of that overnight. But like I would get those infections and then hair would try to grow back in them. And then when you pull that hair out of the infection, it feels that much better than if it wasn't being pulled out of the infection spot. I don't know. This is so fucking weird. I wish I didn't have it, but I do. So anyways, so that entered my head. And like, I'm sitting on a little fucking hospital bed thing or whatever little bed thing. I don't know. And I asked the lady, I said, can I please have a sheet or a blanket or something? Because like, I really was cold. I was having all kinds of cold, hot, whatever. And B, the last thing I needed was to be questioned about why the fuck does your leg like have all those bumps on it and stuff. And she said, no. She's like, no, not till I'm done. And I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, okay. And I cried some more. And she's like, why are you crying? And I'm thinking like, oh, really? And I was like, I'm in pain. And my wife can't come back here. So I'm by myself and I'm freaking out. And she was not helpful at all. She was like, don't raise your voice at me. Like, I don't deserve to be talked to like that. And I was just like, you fucking bitch. I was like, get the fuck out of here and send somebody else in here. And she like stomped the fuck off. And I was like, that just made me spiral even more. And I called my wife because she was out in the waiting room. And I was telling her about what that lady did. And I was like, she just fucking stormed out. And like, I thought I was going to get kicked out of the ER. I was like, because like, I don't think I've ever done that. I've never called. So I've never lost control like that in public, like to that extent. In hindsight, I do not feel bad for calling her a fucking bitch because she was terrible. Like, what a shitty bedside manner. And also, very clearly, you people don't even know about autism either. So, like, I felt like I was just, like, all on my own. Like, I was just a big freak show. That I was, like, I'm fucking, like, grown-ass woman having a meltdown, calling people like names. And I really thought I was going to get thrown out of the ER and then never figure out what the fuck is going on with me. And thank goodness they sent a different assistant lady and then the actual doctor in. And they were great. I'm pretty sure the doctor is autistic because, I see us everywhere. Don't you guys see us everywhere now? Because he explained step by step what he was going to do, what parts of me he was going to touch and check. And he was like, breathe this way. And he was just like helping me work through the anxiety mostly. And it helped. It was super helpful. It helped calm me down. And that's all it takes. And whenever I come across people that treat me I consider that poor, pretty poorly, you shouldn't treat people like that. Don't make them feel bad because they're upset and they're there in the middle of the night. They don't want to be I didn't want to be there either. Sure, you don't want to be at work. I don't want to be there. But I appreciated that I was able to get calmed down, that they were nice to me. They didn't look at me like I was some fucking freak show. So that was definitely helpful. And after the doctor got done examining me, they let my wife come back and sit with me the whole time, which I'm pretty sure they weren't supposed to do because there was the sign outside that said no visitors. But I'm wondering if maybe they just let her come in because they were hoping that she would calm me down too. I don't know. I'm glad that she did because I just felt, you guys know, if you have that person and then you can't be with that person when you need them most, it's the worst. So, and other things that are going through my head are, what if they don't find anything? What if they don't see that they can't find anything? There's nothing in x-rays or whatever. And they call me a hypochondriac or something. I seriously, I could not stop thinking like that. I didn't want to have something terribly wrong with me. I just wanted there to be something. My wife thought that maybe I had kidney stones. And the doctor thought so too initially, but it's I haven't seen the picture. They gave me a CT scan, CAT scan, whatever the fuck those are. Chest x-ray, whatever. And they were just they were very quiet. And so I was in my head and I was they're not really saying a whole lot. Maybe there really isn't anything, and they're just oh, seriously, we have to fucking do this tonight there's nothing wrong with her. I don't, this is crazy shit that I'm really thinking. And so at this point, I'm there better fucking be something wrong with me, because if they come back and say that there's not, and I know that there is, what am I going to do at that point? And what the guy came back with was not the news I thought it was. I thought it was going to be I don't know, a hernia or something. Kidney stones. I don't know. And so he took his hands and he made the size of a bowling ball with his hands. And I was thinking why can't he just that's kind of exaggerating a bit. And my wife told me after the fact, she's I thought he was joking when he had his hands that wide apart. But no, he's they're literally, it's the size of a bowling ball. That's the cyst. And it's on the right side of my, inside my stomach or whatever. And so the vomiting and all the stuff I've been experiencing, turns out that because he was asking me, when you eat food, do you get full quickly after eating very little? And I was well, yeah, because I pretty much just eat once a day. And I know that when you eat less, your stomach gets smaller, is what I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I was thinking. Turns out that this fucking cyst had squeezed stuff or whatever. And so when I eat something, if I eat too much, not gorging, but if I eat a double cheeseburger, how do I say this? I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a hard time with words. And it's not, it's not getting down there, I guess. It's not digesting. It's getting stuck. Because the doctor was like, you just have, like, got a lot of stuff in there. And so I don't know what the fuck is in my stomach. But, like, so what was happening was when I was watching TV, I hadn't eaten all day. I didn't eat anything because I wasn't hungry. And so when I got hungry, it was, like, around midnight. And so I had some cheese sticks, like string cheese. And then I had, 2 popsicles and a handful of Fritos. Oh my God. I mean, this is how I eat. I mean, like, I don't know. I needed something because I was feeling hungry and I was like, oh, this should help. And so I started getting nauseous and I didn't understand it. And then I was like starting to like run to the bathroom. Like what I puked up wasn't even what I ate. It was nothing. So that food's still in me somewhere. It was supposed to come right back up. You know, like when you eat something right away and like you throw up, that food comes back up. None of that food came back up. So I don't know where it went. But that is what ended up doing it because like, that's when I got nauseous. That's when like I started having the stabbing pain and I went and got my wife and had her take me. So he said that that's what's been going on. And my whole weight loss journey is because of that, because I can't eat very much, because I get too nauseous, because the food isn't getting down where it's supposed to get down, because like the bowling ball I have is squishing everything. Oh gosh. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but like, you know, I'm getting older. I can see my veins. It grosses me out, like blood. I cut my leg really bad yesterday. I almost passed out outside. Like it was bad. It was a bad cut. Like I don't do well with pain. I don't do well with stuff like that. That was my cat, if you heard that. Anyways, so yeah. So marijuana has not been making me lose weight. Turns out it's this bowling ball that apparently has been growing inside me for at least 2 to 3 years from what the guy said. And so I really wish I hadn't gained as much weight as I did, because I probably would have noticed that there was something growing inside my stomach if I was like, if I had like normal weight. I mean, I'm almost there now. I really feel, it's also a little shocking too that like what I thought has been happening with me for the last year and a half is actually not even close to what I thought was happening. And so that's kind of thrown me for a loop, because and the fact that like I know that there's this thing inside me now. I don't know how to deal with that. Like I have no choice, but like it's gross. Like I didn't want him to tell me that. I was like, are you serious? And like I don't want to look at that picture until after I get the surgery, because I guess I have to have the whole ovary thing, whatever, that whole thing taken out. And he was trying to be delicate about it. He's like, I don't know if you're like trying to have kids. I'm like, nope, no kids on my agenda. And if I don't need that stuff, I don't give a shit. Just take it out and make sure that like I need to be under. I don't want to feel any pain. I don't want to see anything. And then I want really good like painkillers for a bit afterwards. And then I'll be good to go. But, and so like, and then, surgery, God, and then I have to stay overnight. I don't want to stay overnight in the hospital. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys ever have anything like this ever happened? Like, I was dissociating. Am I saying that right? Dissociating a bit, because the pain was so intense. I was just like, I needed to leave my body for a minute, because, and I know I'll probably never see those people again, but I feel so embarrassed that I had that meltdown in front of those people. Like, have you ever been trapped in like a meltdown and like exactly what's being registered on those people's faces, And that's just like, but you can't do anything about it. Like, you just have to keep having the meltdown. And, that stuff doesn't make it worse. At least for me, it does. But that's the last thing that, like, I wanted to see and hear, was someone just, like, not being very, like, I mean, like, dude, I was the only one there. She looked like she just got up from a fucking nap or something. Like, I know she wasn't busy doing a whole lot. There wasn't anybody there, so she was probably sitting down and doing paperwork or something. Like, I didn't understand why people are just, I mean, I don't know is it mean? I felt it was mean. So yeah, but when Alicia came back there, my wife, when she came back there, I felt like so much better. I don't know what value you'll get out of this episode or anything. I mean, like, I should really be in bed right now, going to sleep, but I think the melatonin is starting to kick in now, but I've listened to podcasts from other autistic people, and it seems that when they have, like, meltdowns or something happened recently, they try to get on and do a recording as soon afterward as possible, so it's like it seems like authentic, or it's more genuine because it's in the moment, if that makes sense, because I don't know if anything I say ever makes sense. So I felt like, I already feel like a pile of fucking shit. I don't feel good. I have pain. Now I have to figure out, like, when am I going to be able to get this surgery? Am I going to be able to get it anytime soon? Because, COVID and surgeries, they're not really, you got to wait for that stuff now. But, like, it's so, I can't believe I did that. And rationally, I know that, like, it's okay I did that. I mean, it's not okay I called that lady mean names. I will say that was not okay, but I do not feel bad about it. So I thought, like, when I heard, like, there's not a whole lot of podcasts I'm able to find, but the ones that, like, I can, like, when I'm listening to those kinds of episodes, I'm like, oh my God, like, my mind immediately goes back to those times that person's talking about, like, that they're experiencing. And it's instantly, like, I feel relief because, wow, like, it really is somebody else that experiences these same things, these same kinds of thoughts and feelings. And, being autistic, finding that out, like, what am I doing? Like, I can't believe I just went in there. I was like, I said it more than once. I was like, I'm autistic. So, like, what feels like a 10 to me on a scale of 1 to 10 for pain? Like, maybe it could be a 2, but to me, it really feels like a 10. So I was saying it to try to convey that, like, please don't take, like, I could be unknowingly exaggerating my pain. I don't want to say if that makes sense. I was going to say that. You're probably tired of hearing that. I really was in pain. It hurt so much. And it was a 10 to me. But I also know from what I'm learning that, like, we tend to feel, as autists, tend to feel pain much more intensely than ordinary people. And so when the doctor, like, towards the end, when he was giving me, like, the discharge paperwork and stuff, he's like, he's like, this is as much of it's like an emotional and a physical thing, like, people come into the ER, it's not just something physical, like, there's always an emotional component. And he was just so good at, like, helping me through that. And I really, really appreciated that. And I, like, thanked him several times, as well as, like, the second assistant that was nice and helpful. And, I thank them for doing what they do, because it's definitely not an easy time to do it. But yeah, that's my crazy, that's been my chaotic last however many hours. Not even that many. But it seems like it's only been really 7.5 hours from the time that, like, it started to now. But it feels like a week to me. I think that's all I've got. I guess the purpose of this is, like, the purposes for all of the episodes I record is just maybe, like that feeling that I had. I will never forget that feeling of hearing my thoughts from coming out of somebody else's mouth. I'll never forget that. Because I never thought I would ever hear anything like that. So, and it was such a profound experience for me. And I'm sure, hopefully you guys can understand that, like you just, and I'm not trying to get on like the poor pity, poor me. I'm autistic. Like, it's not like that. It's just, it's unfortunate, that you go so far, you get, like now you just, oh God, this fucking talking shit. I can't edit this because I don't know how to edit. Sorry. I don't think I'm even making any sense. I just hope that somebody hears this and doesn't feel alone if this has happened, if something similar like this has happened to you. I know that, I definitely know that, meltdowns happen in public. I just have always been able to contain mine. And now I can't. And that took me, that was surprising. I wasn't expecting that, I'm always good at masking. But you throw some pain in there and you throw some uncertainty and then some fucking rude ass people. Not a good mix. But, I should probably get to bed now because melatonin's kicking in, and, wish me luck that I don't have to wait forever to get this bowling ball baby out of my stomach. It sounds, and you know what, when the doctor was telling me about it, he was making it sound like people are not gonna, people can't wait to look at that, to see what the fuck that looks like. And I don't know how to explain it. He just seemed a little bit excited that because I asked that afterward. I was like, have you seen anybody like that? Do you get stuff like these kind of big ass ovary, poly ovary, whatever they are? And he's like, no, not that big. What is up with this? I thought that I had such good awareness. I've been on here telling you guys, oh, I know myself so well. Because I really think I thought I do. I think I do. And then something like this happens. And then, oh, by the way, I have a urine infection on top of that. Because it's been pushing down on the bladder. So it's giving me a hard time peeing. Not that you probably wanted to know that. So I have to take antibiotics for that now. I just feel like a total fraud. And I know I'm not, because I wasn't intentionally I just feel wow, I thought I knew myself. And then looking back, yeah, I have been having issues going to the bathroom, peeing the last couple of weeks. I haven't been able to sleep completely on my stomach like I always do. I've been getting nauseous. Now these little things are starting to make sense as to what was happening and what caused them. And I don't know why I didn't piece things together. I don't know why. I don't know why. I know I didn't want to go to the hospital. I was, I don't like going into the hospital, but I don't know why I didn't just sit down and be okay, you got A, B, C, D, and E going on with you. These things are not normal. So you should probably go and make an appointment and see the doctor. No, I just acknowledged that these things, I was peeing. I was sitting on the toilet oh, this is taking forever to come out. When you've you're about to piss yourself because you've drank so much water. And when you go to the bathroom, sorry guys, I don't mean to gross you out, but when you go pee and you really have to go and it's shh, it's like a waterfall. No, I'm in there for 5 fucking minutes emptying my bladder, ding, 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 ding. And what did I do? I just was oh, it's probably just I don't know, it's just bloat or something. And then I just shuffled the thought away, and it came back the next time I went to the bathroom, and I didn't do anything about it. And I don't know why that is. So I guess I don't have as much awareness of myself as I thought I did, which sucks. But what are you going to do? I'm going to get off of this now because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm tired. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.